Hey, what is up, y'all? And today we're back with another video. And today we have NFL predictions week 15. Man, this season's flown by. I had the record of 6-7 last week, so I'm hoping to do a lot better. And I know I can. And that starts off with the Bucks and Falcons game. Now this game has kicked off, but it's like the first drive of the game. It's not going to sway my pick. So I am picking Tampa, even though they lost to the Saints, which are not a good team. They have to win this because Carolina is right on their butts. They're catching up. And they know they have to win this. This is a must-win game for them. And I think they will win because Cousins is not that good anymore as a quarterback. So that should be a little easier for them to win. So I think the Bucks are going to beat the Falcons with a score of 23-13. Now for the Sunday games at 1 o'clock. The Browns and the Bears. Now the Shedeur played an incredible game against the Titans, but they ended up losing. And it was not because of Shedeur. And Bears coming off of a loss to Green Bay because they had a bad first half. They came back in the second half, but Caleb Williams threw the game-losing interception in the end zone with 30 seconds left. So that was a good effort. I like to see that from the Bears because it honestly shows that they're for real more than it did already because they hung with a good team. I think the Bears are going to beat the Browns with a score of 31-27. Now the Ravens and the Bengals. The Ravens are coming off of a loss to Pittsburgh, but it was very controversial. I think Likely had that in his hands. I thought it was a touchdown. They probably would have won that game and if he had been ruled a touchdown, but it was a tough break for them. And Cincy is coming off of a game against Buffalo. They lost, but it was very well played until the end where Burrow threw a pick six and then a pick on back-to-back plays. Now, they were very good defensive plays, but it single-handedly sold them the game against Buffalo. And Josh Allen went nuclear. That didn't help either. But I just don't know, man. I feel like Baltimore won't win this game because the Bengals have been playing really good with Burrow back. Not like they hadn't with Flacco. It's just I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're just playing a better team. So I think the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens 31-27. It's going to be a shootout, but I expect the Bengals to win. Chiefs, Chargers. The Chargers are coming off of a win against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts played terrible in that game, so they got bailed out by that play, by Jalen Hurts' play, and A.J. Brown dropping a touchdown pass. But other than that, Herbert played pretty decently with a broken finger. So I think that's reassuring. And the Chiefs have slid down after beating the Colts. They lost to who'd they lose to? They lost to the Cowboys and they lost to the Texans back-to-back weeks. Those aren't terrible losses, but they're pinned against the wall with a knife right at their shoulder, basically, right now. So if they lose, they're basically eliminated. So that is not good. But I think they will get eliminated this week. The Chargers, I don't know, man. I feel like they're just they played way better this year. And I think the Chargers are going to sweep the Chiefs with a score of 24-20. Now for another good game, the Bills-Patriots. Patriots are coming off of a bye and the Bills are coming off of a win against the Bengals. It was a nice win. The defense came in clutch when they needed. Josh Allen carried the offense through the snow. So it's going to be a very good game. But it is hard to beat a team twice. Now, I should have said that for the Chiefs-Chargers, but I feel like the Chargers are a way better team than the Chiefs, so I picked the Chargers again. But these two teams are very evenly matched. So I think the Bills are going to beat the Patriots with a score of 27-24. Now, for a really bad game, the worst game of the week. We need to start having those. Commanders, Giants. Jaden Daniels got hurt again, even though he didn't play that good. He got hurt, and then Mariota played really bad against Minnesota. And the Giants are coming off of a much-needed bye. They have Jackson Dart. I think they have a little more firepower on offense and on defense. So I think the Giants are going to beat the Commanders with a score of 24-7. Now for the Eagles and Raiders. I'm pretty sure Kenny Pickett is going to be playing against his former team for the Raiders. And the Eagles need to win this game in order to bolster their chances to win that division. But it's going to be hard to win games when Jalen Hurts plays bad. The entire offense plays bad except for Saquon. Even though Patulu called his best game, I don't think it's going to last. Although they're playing against the Raiders, who are one of the worst teams in the league, even though they have some firepower on offense. So I think the Eagles are going to beat the Raiders with a score of 27-13. For the Jets and the Jags. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor is going to play or Brady Cook is going to play, but it's not going to affect my pick. Jacksonville is going to stop the run. It's going to stop Breece Hall, and Jacksonville has a way better team than the Jets. I think the Jags are going to beat the Jets with a score of 27-3. Now for the Cardinals and Texans. Now this Texans team is an unmovable object. And this Cardinals offense is basically like flames. They are incredibly productive on offense, even though last week they didn't do the best. They keep on driving down but not finishing the drives for Arizona. But I think Houston's going to be the first team to shut down Jacoby Brissett. And the Texans are going to beat the Cardinals with a score of 23-14. Now for the second best game of the week. There's the Packers and the Broncos. The Packers have played pretty good football up to late. They beat two really good teams in a row in the Lions and the Bears. So I think they have quite a bit of momentum, but Denver has all the momentum in the world. They are 11-2, coming off of 10 straight wins. Their defense has played phenomenally. Their offense has been very iffy. They have not been that productive, but with that defense of theirs, they don't really have to. I think the Packers are going to beat Broncos simply because Packers' offense is very productive, and their defense will have a field day against Denver's offense. So I think the Packers are going to beat the Broncos with a score of 23-20. Now for the actual game of the week. The Lions and the Rams. The Lions are still fighting for that last playoff spot. And the Rams are still fighting for that number 1 seed. The Rams have an incredible offense and a pretty good defense. And the Lions have a good offense and a bad defense. But the Lions are pinned against the wall. If they lose this game, they'll only have like a 40 or 30% chance of winning, considering the fact that the Niners are playing the Titans this week. So I think the Lions, who have owned the Rams in the past 2 years, are going to beat them with a score of 31-28 in a high-scoring affair. Panthers, Saints. The Panthers are coming off of a bye where they played phenomenally against the Rams, which are one of the best teams in the league. And the Saints are coming off of a huge win against Tampa. But I think, just like I said, it's hard to beat a team twice, especially when you have less talent than the other team. So I think the Panthers are going to get a much-needed win in the division against the Saints and beat them with a score of 23-10. Now for the Titans and the Niners. The Niners have played really good this year, surprisingly to me. So that's strange, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they're good enough to beat the Titans. Titans, even though they beat the Browns, they're not a good team. The Browns are not a good team either, so I think they are going to get destroyed by the Niners, who's actually a pretty good team. So I think the Niners are going to beat the Titans with a score of 27-17. Colts, Seahawks. Seahawks have one of the best defenses in the league. Their offense has not played very good up to recently, but they got fire in that second half, are hoping to continue that against the Colts, who have been falling off, and now have Philip Rivers as their quarterback. I don't know if he's starting, but it seems like he is, especially since their third string is hurt. So I think they're just asking for him to die, even though the Colts O-line is pretty good. It's just not good for him, man. He's a grandpa. I think the Seahawks beat the Colts with a score of 31-23. It would be the funniest thing ever, though, if the 44-year-old Philip Rivers just torches the Seahawks and they end up winning the Super Bowl. That would actually be a crazy storyline. I don't think it's going to happen. Sunday night game is the Vikings and the Cowboys. The Vikings are coming off of a shutout win against the Commanders, who are a very bad team. And the Cowboys are coming off of a loss to the Detroit Lions, which are one of the best offenses in the league. So I'm not concerned with them. I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Vikings with a score of 30-24, simply because Dallas's defense isn't good. So I think Vikings are going to score some points. Now for the Monday night game, the Dolphins and the Steelers, I don't know why they couldn't move another one of those 4 o'clock games into this window, but I don't control it. The Dolphins are red hot. They've won 4 games in a row, and the Steelers are coming off of a controversial win against the Ravens. But I think this is just a game that the Steelers are going to win and are going to have to win. I think the Steelers are going to beat the Dolphins with a score of 24-17. And that's it for Week 15 predictions. There are no teams on a bye. There are no more bye week teams. So that's good. And see you guys in the next vid. See you guys next time. Peace.